Rotary is an international charitable organisation whose members seek to give themselves up to the mission of service. The Guernsey wing is currently celebrating its 100th year of formal operation, with a programme of events scheduled this weekend to look both backwards and forwards on the work offered to the community. I sat down with the local president, Brian Acton, to speak about Rotary's values and how it plans to mark the occasion. He explained the threat to Rotarians around the world if the next generation don't step up to the plate and follow the example set by those who have already served. But first of all, I asked him to explain the mission and how the club was first founded locally.
Rotary International was formed well over 130 years ago, and the base is in Chicago. So it was formed by a guy called Paul Harris. And we still recognise Paul Harris in certain awards that we do give. But the Rotary Club of Guernsey was chartered by Rotary International on the 3rd of March 1923. So our centenary has now arrived, and the club in Guernsey currently has 74 members.
And you said to me before that part of the celebrations, perhaps not dignitaries, but Rotarians from all around the world, certainly from England, coming over. Can you speak a bit about the organisation of that event and what it's going to be celebrating?
Yeah, sure. The centenary weekend has proven to have been a weekend that we've organised for visitors that are coming. Primarily, we've got 18 Rotarians and their partners coming over from Bournemouth. The Rotary Club of Bournemouth was our original sponsor 100 years ago. So it's wonderful that they're here with us this weekend to enjoy not only our celebrations and commemorations, but also look around the island. So for that particular group, we have organised an island tour, which Anna Henry, who is one of our Rotarians, is organising and taking them around, and also a trip to Herm. So they'll get a good feel for the island. The main event for the weekend is a celebration charter night dinner that we have on Friday evening. The guests include not only the visiting Bournemouth group, but also Rotarians coming in from London and also some Rotarians coming from France. And we'll have an honorary member, the bailiff, Mr. Richard McMahon, will be in attendance. And we also have the chief of Rotary Great Britain and Ireland, a guy called Garth Arnold, who's coming to join us as well. So we've got a lot of people coming in from a variety of different places to help us celebrate this milestone occasion.
And will there be speeches, for example, from the bailiff and yourself there and other Rotarians?
I've been told to keep the speeches to a minimum, but yes, there will be a speeches. Really, because at the occasion, we've got supporters and sponsors, so many people that really give Rotary Club of Guernsey an awful lot of help on the island. They're joining us also for the evening. So we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to talk to them about some of the issues that we do, some of the projects that we do, but also to thank them for their support. That's so important, particularly in the current environment.
Amazing. And could you speak as well about some of the events prior to this week and indeed events that are coming afterwards as part of the celebrations? Yeah,
well, the events that Rotary organises, if I could just perhaps talk about some of the initiatives and the history of them. Many people will know the Rotary Club of Guernsey for the work that we do on the Tree of Joy. That project, which provides Christmas presents for children, was originally launched in 1994, and that's still in place. As is the Christmas food hampers that we do. That was originally launched in 1938. And this year, we're still delivering Christmas hampers to those people in Guernsey who really do need that additional support. What might not be so well known is in 1931, and this lasted for well over 20 years, the Rotary Club of Guernsey organised boys' camps for children, primarily from the boroughs of Stepney and Poplar in London. But after the war, we also gave holidays to boys that came to Guernsey from France. Working with young people has always been a feature of the club, and many people might remember the young photographer competitions, young chef and youth speaks. And one of the highlights of the Rotary calendar each year is the Safri Rotary Walk. That's in its 25th anniversary, so for over 25 years has passed, and that walk has raised in excess of £900,000 for Bailiwick charities. So there's a lot to celebrate. To launch our centenary, we replaced the Japanese fishing pavilion at Summeray Park. That proved to be a big project, and it was supported so well, not only by the tradesmen, but also financially by some very generous sponsors here in Guernsey. That leaves a lasting memory, but also members of the community for decades have enjoyed that fishing pavilion, and if we hadn't got involved in the replacement of it, it would have literally fallen into the pond.
Yeah.
So we really are pleased about that.
And have you had good feedback? It's obviously quite recently finished, the fishing pavilion. What's the reaction of the community been like?
Well, wonderful. I mean, the reaction that we do get has been superb, and it's been used for so many purposes, and even a wedding has taken place on the pavilion last year. So it really does capture the heart of many in the community who can remember taking their children and grandchildren to the park, and now it's looking particularly splendid as it's weathering in.
Yeah.
But that was a great project to support, and it will be enjoyed for many, many years to come.
And projects like that and all the other work that you've mentioned, the historical events that are enjoyed by so many and noticed by so many, is that what drives you to be president of the club and involved as a Rotarian?
Yes. The motto of Rotary is service above self. So the members really go over and above to actually help in the community. So all of the projects that we do, it really is the Rotary Club of Guernsey acting as facilitator to make things happen. And the Tree of Joy is a great example of that, because it's supported so well by the community who provide the presents for children. And even our Flag Day each Christmas, that's probably the only time we're actually out there collecting. But the members of the public are so generous, and not only do we then have the collection, we take those proceeds, buy the food hampers, and then the Rotarians go and deliver them to the people that really do deserve them.
Yeah.
So the rewards are huge. I think going forward, looking to the future, the club has to try to attract younger members. That is the key, which is why we're very keen to continue the work we do with the Young Chef competition. We've held that recently, and the winner of the competition will be heading to the district competition on the 11th of March. But this year we'll also be moving forward with Young Photographer, the Rotary Young Leaders Award, which is an initiative we do with the Youth Commission. And also we've launched a bursary for 18 to 35-year-olds to get involved in peace education. So there's a lot of touch points for younger people, and really want to spend more time focusing on that. And also as we move into more environmental issues, working with young people. And that is so important. I think also what is worth mentioning as well, to raise the profile of the Rotary Club in Guernsey, we were delighted that Guernsey Post issued a series of 6 stamps in February for us to mark our centenary, and they depict our main projects, which is wonderful. And also we have a timeline exhibition stand that charts 100 years of our history, and that's been on display in a number of places over the last few weeks, and it's now currently in Guernsey Library. So for anybody who's interested in seeing what we've done in the past and indeed what we're doing now, it's well worth taking a look at that for a few moments.
Do you think people who might not be aware of Rotary's involvement in these things are surprised when they do find out? Is that your reaction when you've perhaps informed people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we get confused, and there's no doubt about that. There are a lot of charities in the sector.
Yeah.
Not quite like Rotary, because our focus is not walking around with a bucket collecting money all the time. It really is about helping people in the community. And this year's been very noticeable because with the economic situation, we've had far more requests for welfare support from people who are struggling with many basic needs, carpets, washing machines, tumble dryers, that simply can't afford them. So we try to help with those as well. But I think the important aspect is that this underlying culture, that the membership of the club and future members not only do they bring their skills to the club, they're also very keen to roll their sleeves up and actually help members of the public with the various projects that we do. And this weekend's a good example of that. Organising our events, they've all been organised by the members within the club, and to host the visiting Rotarians. We really want to demonstrate not only the island at its best, but also what our club does and how we project to move forward to the future.
And just on that point, we're 100 years into Rotary Club Guernsey. What do you think the next 100 years has in store? How do you think the organisation might change when it comes to the next century anniversary?
Well, I think in a nutshell, what Rotary has to do, and this is a global issue, we have to reduce the average age of the members. It's true to say that the membership is currently probably those of more advanced years, and the future of the club has got to rest with young people. What we have to do is find a way of attracting them, because young people nowadays have got so many demands on their time with work, young families, their own professional studies. So making time available to join an institution like Rotary is going to take some time for them. What we're trying to do at the moment is to ask them to come and help us with our various projects. That's a great start. If they can devote a bit of time to help us with, say, the Tree of Joy or delivering food hampers, that's a great start to actually get to know Rotary and to get to know what we intend to do for the future and how we make such a difference in the community. That has to be a way forward for the club. The club will not continue to grow unless we can feed in young, enthusiastic people who bring a skill set to the club. Saying that, the club at the moment consists of many members of the community who have run successful businesses. They bring to the club a variety of skills and competencies, but we're all getting older. Fortunately, in Guernsey, we do not have the same, or we have the same issues, but the impact is not so great. There are many Rotary clubs in England that really are not likely to survive unless they bring in this new blood. Yeah. Guernsey, we are able, which is wonderful in this centenary year, we are able to attract younger members. They might only be 10 years younger, but nevertheless they are younger than some of our other Rotarians.
So demographic change is necessary for the organisation, and inevitably society and its needs change. But fundamentally, do you think that mission of helping and caring is the same?
That would be a fundamental principle for the club.
Always.
This service above self, because it doesn't matter how old you are. If you've got the time and the inclination, you'll always be willing to help, to provide service to others. And probably this year, and indeed last year since COVID, the increasing need in the community is very, very evident. What we want to do is to help those that we can. So I think that is attractive to many potential new members who really feel that they can provide some support to the community.